Believe it or not, it's time to start thinking about next year. For the next couple of minutes, we're going to talk about pre-registering for the classes you want to take in 2019-2020. It's important you pay attention so that you register for all of the classes you need to graduate. For those of you who've done this before, there are a few changes we want to be sure you know about. First, we want to quickly cover why you have to pre-register for classes. Pre-registration numbers are put into RenWeb so we know how many students want a specific class. We can then decide how many blocks to offer that class. Second, it helps us to avoid conflicts. If we know many students want two specific classes, we do our best not to schedule them at the same time. If we don't know what courses you want, we might accidentally create conflicts for you. This is one of the reasons thinking through your class choices and having an accurate form is so important. Finally, we create space for you in class sections based on your pre-registration forms. When you build your schedule later this spring, you will only be able to sign up for the classes you pre-registered for. When you pre-register, you'll see some classes already listed on the form. These are classes that everyone has to take. You may need to decide between AP, honors, or college bound, but for the most part, it's pretty standard. This leaves room for a lot of electives. Some students think of electives as anything I want to take, but there are some required courses you need. We call them electives because you are deciding between classes that fulfill the requirements. Looking at this list, you can see you need one career concentration class, 2 classes of foreign language, and it must be the same language, an art class, and a PE class in addition to the one you had in 9th grade. If you're in a sport at King's, this covers the PE requirement and you don't need to do anything. If you participate in a sport outside of King's, you'll need to pick up a PE waiver form from your counselor. Additionally, one of your science electives must be chemistry and one math must be algebra 2. We do have some strong elective recommendations we want you to think about. We only require 2 years of a foreign language to graduate, but most colleges will want to see 3. We suggest a 3rd year. Colleges will want to see math, extra math, and science, so we suggest you take 4 classes of each. This includes a math or an algebra-based science in your senior year. It shows your commitment to learning, and state colleges in Washington will require it unless you've completed pre-calculus. We want to introduce you to some new elective options for next year. Mrs. Leach is teaching Women in Fitness. This class is designed for girls who are interested in investigating and pursuing holistic health. It will involve activities like circuit and interval training, strength training, and core conditioning, and it will also include nutrition, self-defense, and overall well-being. To hear about our other new classes, watch this short video.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Roddy, and I'm the teacher and advisor for KHS Radio, which is an online podcast version of the news. You may be familiar with The Quill, which is a newspaper that we produced for a long time here at King's, and this is just a new approach. If you are to take the class, then you'll be one of our staff reporters. Initially, you'll get to learn about journalism and what makes a good story and what our audience is and how to structure stories. And then we'll dive into this really fun project-based learning class where we're working together as a team to produce these stories, getting interviews, recording narrative, editing and mixing our content in editing software like GarageBand, and then distributing them for the school to hear. And there are also opportunities for leadership, being an editor for a section or an editor-in-chief, also social media management, tech management, website management, and so on. It's a really fun class, and we would love to have you with us. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Barrero, and I'm teaching a new elective course that I hope you'll consider signing up for. The course is Media Literacy, Truth, Lies, and Everything in Between. First of all, what is media literacy? Well, imagine the best aspects of journalism, social studies, psychology, and language arts coming together to help you consider current events and the media around you in a new way. Because whether we like it or not, media shapes our reality. Consider how social media has given you insight into your favorite celebrity's life, how you have access to breaking news as it unfolds in real time. These seem great, but it's not without its drawbacks. Fake news is an epidemic. Or is it? As the lines between reality and fiction blur, we need to understand how the media works in order to be critical consumers and citizens. So who should take this class? Please take this class if you enjoy good discussion and debate, are interested in current events, want to have ownership over what you learn, are willing to challenge assumptions you've made about media, enjoy using technology to research and create presentations. It's going to be so much fun, and I hope to see you there. Thanks.
These are fabulous new options for next year. Just to clarify, we will also offer the Quill paper alongside of KHS RadioCast next year. The pre-registration form is pretty easy. First, you just choose from the classes listed already. Decide if you want honors, AP, or college-bound classes. Then look at the elective list and decide the rest of your courses. When you're thinking about what electives you want, of course you will consider the graduation requirements we already talked about. You will also want to make sure you consider how much homework or outside of school expectation there is for each class. The homework balance levels are on the form to help you do that. The goal is to help you find balance in both your schedule and your life. At the top of the elective forms, you'll see a key indicating approximately how much homework you can expect from a class, or whether or not a class has outside expectations. Keep in mind, this is just a guide to help you with balance. If you're a student that struggles in math, it might take more time for you to do than what is listed. If a class has no homework, there may still be a project you have to work on outside of class. This balance code just gives you some general expectations. We don't want you to shy away from classes that take work. You know your life outside of school and the level of rigor that's most appropriate for you. The balance level bubbles on the pre-registration form are for your benefit and aren't required. However, you will really want to consider all of the factors when selecting courses, because these will be the only classes you can choose from when you make your schedules, and counselors will only be changing schedules next year for extenuating circumstances. Think through your choices carefully. If you have any questions about any of this, feel free to talk to teachers or stop by and see your counselor. The most confusing portion of the pre-registration form is classes that are during Flex and only run half the year. You may not have any of these. Your Flex block class may run all year long, like Bible or history as examples. You will decide which one when you actually decide which blocks you want your classes in later this spring. You will set your schedule. If you choose courses listed in the box on the back of your form, you will need to make sure you have a fall class and a spring class listed on the same line. It sounds more confusing than it is, so let's take a look at a few examples. Here is a sophomore pre-registration sample. Nothing needs to be done with Bible, everyone takes it. This student selected Honors English 10 and AP World History. You can see they filled in the bubbles for the homework balance levels printed on the course elective form. They then selected geometry based on the math recommendation they received and chemistry as their science. The rest of their electives are full block courses, meaning none of them run half the year during Flex. When they create their actual schedule in the spring, this student will take one of these classes all year during Flex. Here's the same schedule, except instead of cultural arts, this student decided to take film and leadership. Both are listed in the box on the elective form and are classes that run half the year each during Flex. Because of this, they're listed on the same line. Here is an example of a junior student schedule. All of their choices are full block classes and listed on separate lines. Here is the same schedule, only instead of CAD, this student decided to take AP Bio Review and Personal Finance. Both are listed in the box on the elective form and run half a year each during Flex. This is why they're listed on the same line. Here's a senior pre-registration example. The triangle on the balance level for marketing and for KHS Live are because these are courses that have requirements outside of the classroom. Marketing competes in DECA, and KHS Live has performances. This is more information to help you balance your busy life. Here are just a few final thoughts. If you've applied for honors, AP, or arts classes, you'll receive an email with teacher decisions this Friday. As you work to balance your class load, keep in mind that you don't have to take honors or AP classes even if you applied for them. Select the right amount of rigor for you, creating a challenging yet manageable schedule. Math recommendations will be emailed out on Friday, March 22nd as well. If you want a math class different than you were recommended for, you must see your counselor for a waiver form. Don't turn in your pre-registration form before you have all of this information. A form that is 100% accurate is important because these are the only classes you'll be able to register for in May. If you decide to take AP Physics, you will also need to take the AP Physics review during the Flex in the spring. This helps make sure you get all of the material covered before AP exams are taken in May. Pre-registration forms are due to the main office on Wednesday, March 27th at 3:30 p.m. If your form is late, you'll be last when we register for classes later this spring. Make sure yours is turned in on time. Finally, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to contact your counselors. If you have questions about the decisions made on classes you applied for, the teacher's email address will be in the decision email. Feel free to contact them. 2 separate links will be sent home in an email today. One is the OneDrive link, which will have pre-registration forms, course descriptions, and elective forms in color. The second is the YouTube link to this presentation. Thank you for listening and have a fantastic day.